All right. What is up? Everybody? It is Phil Nagy on Sports joining you here. Hope you're having a good Monday afternoon. We are in week number 13 of our 2023 season. The Browns are on bye this week, so I just picked a couple of teams that we hadn't seen either in a while or that we just had some interest in seeing. So we're going to head to the Superdome and check out Derek Carr and the Saints. We've got some Saints fans on the channel, and there's a lot of Buckeyes on the Saints, which makes them fun for some of us Central Ohioans to watch as well. And we haven't seen the Colts since very early in the season, and both teams are 6-5. This was the next highest rated matchup of teams that we wanted to see. So a big opportunity here for both teams. There's a look at Shane Steichen, of course, coming over, former Philadelphia Eagle offensive coordinator, so they'll be running the Eagles playbook here today. Hey, Mitchell, welcome in. Woof woof to you as well. Of course, the Browns in real life on the practice field at the Greenbrier. And so far, the best thing to keep hearing is that nobody is getting hurt. So let's go ahead and kick this one away up into the air from left to right again inside I think it's the Caesars. The Caesars Superdome down in Caesars Palace. Spend a bunch of money to make it the Caesars thing, maybe, if I'm misremembering correctly. Hey, Mason, welcome in. Hey, 504, there you go. Right at the beginning here for your Saints. There's Derek Carr. 6-5 is what they are. Again, Kamara, of course, we know about him. Mike Thomas being healthy has been very important for them. Tre'Quan Smith, Chris Olave, still talented up front at some spots as well. 1st and 10 here, coming from right to left. First snap of the game here at Nagy on Sports. It's Kamara left side, 6 his foot in the ground, to the 30, to the 35. He's got the first down, and then he's pushed to the ground at the 35-yard line. They'll give him exactly 10, and the first down. And Dennis Allen, very excited. Hey, Kit, welcome in. Hi, Karen. Oh, good. I got some feedback after using it in the first game that it was still crackling a little bit in some of my more excited moments. So I turned the gain down just a little bit more, and hopefully it will prevent us from having those peaks. Carr, quick little dump to the right side. That's the tight end, Juwan Johnson. He tries to throw a defender off of him and is unsuccessful. 3rd and 7. Right side, Kamara breaking tackles for a first down to the 48-yard line. 9 yards on that one. Alvin Kamara starting the game out strong. I like this blue pant, white topic. They look like my high school. The Colts do right now. This is what my high school's football team jerseys, they remind me of it, like this straight, like blue and white combo here. Stretch it left side. This is Jamal Williams, of course, the second running back. He's coming over from the Detroit Lions, one of the more animated folks to follow on Hard Knocks. Carr that time hit as he threw. Can't tell if it was dropped or just got tackled immediately at the line of scrimmage. Back to pass now. Rolling, firing off the back foot. Derek Carr, he's got Mike Thomas. He outbodied the defender up to the 10-yard line and can't guard Mike. With that 6'2 frame, still got some spring in the legs when healthy. How about 39 yards down the left sideline and a first down for the New Orleans Saints as a big throw down the left side. You can see there, beating his man. I believe that's the rookie Juju Brents. Yeah, just a tough one for Perry on. Couldn't get out of his own way. I mean, they gave him plenty of chances. They really did. 2nd and 7. Shaquille Leonard, of course, formerly Darius Leonard. Now Kamara makes it 3rd and 5. Trips to the right side here. Carr in a shotgun. Kamara on his left hip now. Back to pass. Carr. Right side. End zone. Couldn't float it in there. Interesting looking route, as he just literally tried to drop it in a bucket. We've seen a lot of those videos, usually around training camp, where the quarterbacks try to throw it like into a trash can that's set up in the corner of the end zone. And that's what that throw looked like from Carr, but good coverage by the Colts get there. Yeah, I mean, again, you have to know, we don't know. We're not inside that. We don't know how much of that is Andrew Berry, how much of that is the scouts. Obviously, he has the final say, but I know a lot of good GMs trust their scouts. And if they say, this guy's a dog, and, they didn't draft him in the first round or the second round, so, I mean, it's, I guess the term waste obviously is not on the team anymore, so it feels like a waste, but it was a high risk, maybe a particularly low risk, high reward, and it just didn't pan out. And maybe he turns it around. Maybe he goes and balls out somewhere else. So, the Browns have been on the opposite side of that too, with Malik McDowell, who kind of came in and then fizzled, and then they gave him another chance. He had a really good season, and by all accounts would still be starting on the Browns defensive line had he not gotten into some trouble down in Florida a couple summers ago. Here's Jonathan Taylor out of the backfield, and Anthony Richardson completes his first pass of the game. So, yes, you draft a guy with some potential character issues. You have to be willing to answer the questions, and that's what Perry Winfrey was. They just thought that maybe they could coach that out of him, and they couldn't. And this time he's going to be sacked big time. Nathan Shepard, the defensive tackle, getting in there, and Richardson's got to know and get rid of it. It looked like they were setting up screen, and he just had to eat it right away. Yep, you're right. But the guy that they traded all those 1s and 2s for is still on the team, and if he does what we think and we've seen glimpses of doing, then players like Perry Winfrey not working out will be less damaging to the overall product. 3rd and 8, late blitz coming. He feels it, but he's just going to throw it away. Actually, at the defeat of the defender, and the Saints defense will get a nice 3 and out to start the game. Again, courtesy, for the most part, of that big sack from Nathan Shepard. All right, Derek Carr here now at the 27-yard line. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy joining you here. Nagy on Sports. Appreciate again you guys being here. Hey, George, welcome in. Kit again. Spent a little time away from SoCal up in Seattle, so joining in chat form here this afternoon. This is the final of our week 13 of 2023 sim season. We'll be bringing you week 14. I'll try to get that Browns game in tomorrow. Then I'm going to be popping out of town for a couple of days. Nothing long like prior times this summer. So we'll try to get that Browns game in for you tomorrow, and then let the peeps catch up for a few days. Up the middle now, Jamal Williams, he's got a first down. And again, that's what he brings you, that attitude. Again, if you watch that Hard Rock season last year with the Lions, he was definitely one of the more memorable characters on the squad. Kamara, nice little juke move again to the 50. That looked like almost exactly like the very first play of the game, where he had that juke move in space and went exactly 10 yards for a first down. So Alvin Kamara has started off strongly here, and so far the Colts have been unable to keep in at bay. Again, obviously DeForest Buckner in the middle, and then next to him you'll see Grover Stewart, of course, in the running situations, and then Adebawore, the rookie out of Northwestern. They've got him playing some inside, some outside. I believe he's number 95 there in the middle. Screen, this time it's picked off. He tried to go to the right side. Mike Thomas was over there, and Kenny Moore baited him into that throw, and he picks off Derek Carr. And Derek, once that went back, immediately when that left his hands, you were like, oh no. Oh no. Get some fishing line and pull that thing back. So a huge turnover for the Saints. I mean, didn't he draft Grant Delpit, who's, if he continues to progress like he did at the end of last season, will be an absolute steal. MJ Emerson has been crazy good. He was a 3rd-round pick. He's an instant starter. Newsome should be, I was going to say, you're saying Newsome and JOK both taking another step towards, like, no, these dudes can actually play, would be important. Picked off again, coming the other way. Richardson returns the favor, and this time Paulson Adebo is into the end zone. He had a pick 6 in the Week 12 game as well. Paulson, Adebo, and right back the other way. The Saints strike first. Richardson hit as he threw, and again, Mo Alley Cox just standing there. Way actually looked like maybe it was Pittman, just two guys in the wrong spot or the right spot, I guess. And it's picked off there. So back-to-back interceptions, but this one goes into the end zone, and the Saints score the first touchdown of the game with 5:14 to go on the clock. But also, is Nick Harris an AB pick? Everybody was super pumped about Nick Harris, and then he just happened to get hurt, and Posick played incredibly and didn't really give him his spot. Back ball on the turf. I think it was picked right back up. It is picked up by the Saints. Are you kidding me? Granderson got down there. That's a defensive end. That ball comes flying out. I think it's out. We might get a booth review on this one, but I think that ball is out. And not even a review, just a turnover and a huge first down right into the red zone. DeJuan Jones would be an example of one of those very high reward but low risk kind of picks. Whippler, by all accounts, is going to be a great backup. He's been incredible with some of his free agent pickups. So, again, I try to look at it through the lens of everything that happened before him, and he's so much of an upgrade over the previous regimes that, a player or two that doesn't work out. Floating at a corner of the end zone, did he get both feet? And he didn't. That was Olave, and now the Saints are going to challenge it to see if he did. It is Olave. Did he get both toes in? This would be a very Olave thing to do. I think he did. That was not a very great camera angle at it, but let's see what the eye in the sky says. I think he's in too, Wendell. And welcome in, Wendell. I missed you pop on. And that's a touchdown! Chris Olave. Some toe drag swag. Like a young Jackson Smith and Jigba with his first Ohio State touchdown, where he just had that crazy toe tap. That was bonkers, and the second turnover pays off, and now Who Dat Nation is excited here in the city of Sin, or one of the cities of Sin. I guess Las Vegas is technically Sin City, but plenty would tell you that Nolans has their share of it. That's the birthplace of jazz, after all. The Devil's music. Pressure coming. Richardson, left side, got his man, and it's open! All the way down to the 42. How about a quick strike there? And that's the rookie, Josh Downs, out of North Carolina. The speedster, you saw him returning the kick, and he fumbled. So rookie to rookie here. Richardson to Josh Downs. And maybe just one half step earlier of that release, he catches it and turns it upfield for a touchdown, because we know that Josh Downs can fly. Yep, Mason, that's absolutely it. It's the whole regime, frankly. But that's why they did what they had to do, because, yes, exactly as Kit said, elite quarterbacks in their prime do not often come available. And I guarantee you, if another one did, let's say the contract extension with Joe Burrow just breaks down because Mike Brown's cheap and doesn't have enough cash in the bank or whatever to make it work, and he just became a free agent, or was rumored that he was going to become a free agent, people would trade 100 first-round picks for somebody like that. So, oh, it's picked again! He just threw it up there, and Marshawn grabbed it all the way down to the 37, and this Saints defense and special teams is cooking with all sorts of gas right now. Marshawn Lattimore, the Buckeye party continues. Look at him. He actually has the man open, but Richardson just doesn't quite have enough arm for this one. Isaiah McKenzie, the former Buffalo Bill, now over here in Lattimore. Talk about high-pointing the football. And he just comes and does it. Again, the Watson thing just is a little bit more marred because he had the off-field stuff. But there were still 10 other teams that were going to trade as much, if not more, than the Browns were. So, again, if it was somebody like a Mahomes or a Josh Allen or a Burrow or Herbert hasn't done his extension yet. Let's say he's like, you know what, get me out of here. I don't want to be in LA anymore. same thing. 3, 4, 5 first rounders. It would be Watson's price tag plus more, just because it's such a rarity to have that. But the season off just sort of shielded everybody from remembering. And clearly, again, the Madden ratings for quarterbacks just came out. We put it in the Discord chat. It's an absolute disgrace, and he's going to have to like earn that elite status back for people and remind them of what he can and hopefully should and will be again. And obviously the Browns fans, chief among them. This time the Colts will get a stop, frankly, because this thing had gone 24-0 in the first quarter. I'm losing my viewers there, 504. I don't care how happy you are. Cam Jordan goes into the zone. Now here's Jonathan Taylor to the right side, and he'll pick up a nice gain of about 6 on his third carry of the day. Across the middle, and this one's going to be caught by the tight end, Jelani Woods. Rookie last season was Jelani Woods. So Richardson, again, I do have them running the Philadelphia Eagle playbook. That's where Stecken is from, and I believe he's the offensive coordinator. I believe he will be calling the plays. So Richardson certainly tipped again, and then almost picked, and then almost caught by Alec Pierce. Richardson definitely has some Jalen Hurts qualities, so we'll certainly see how that translates to the next level. Bunch to the left side. Firing it. Caught him at the sideline. Nope, heels were out of bounds. Alec Pierce, again, that second-year receiver out of University of Cincinnati, the Bearcat. Trips to the left side now. 3rd and 10. Richardson, blitz coming again. They take care of it for now. He's got time and fires to a wide-open receiver over the middle, and that's Michael Pittman. And Pittman's got the 45 and a first down. So a couple of first downs here together are exactly what the doctor ordered for the Colts. Of course, if you're a Browns fan, I think you probably need the Colts to lose this one, because you cannot have too many more non-division winners with good records. The AFC East is already going to be sending almost 2, or almost 3, for sure 2, and maybe 3 teams. So right now the Browns just have to try to win the North. That's really, I mean, obviously it's the only sure way to get there, but right now our sim season AFC is just so crowded up. And we got a tough one in Seattle coming up next. Now here's Richardson. He'll try to take off. He got hit from behind. They'll say no gain on the run. He saw a hole in the pocket and ran through it. That's Brian Brissy, former Clemson Tiger. He was a first-round pick from them this year. Brissy, big 5-star kid. I remember when he picked Clemson over Ohio State. It was a pretty big deal for Ohio State to not get him, because we thought we were going to get him. And he went down and played for Dabo. Didn't have nearly as good a career. Oh, we're going to review the previous play, apparently. That deep throw out of bounds. Oh, he's way out of bounds. Downs is way out of bounds. I'm not sure why the Colts are challenging this one. This seems pretty obvious to me. Yeah, I agree, Kid. His presser from yesterday, he definitely feels, 20 pounds lighter kind of a thing. And, said he's taking the counseling really seriously, and is just in a much different place. Last year was the worst year of his life, all that kind of stuff. So, again, time will tell, and we're not even going to know. I mean, you might be able to glean some things from the joint practices with Philly, just because we know how good Philly is, especially their defense. But until that opener in September, it's just all going to be speculation. But I, for one, can't wait for him to prove everybody wrong and to be contemplating Super Bowl tickets, and how insanely mad I want to make Mrs. Nagy on sports by telling her I'm going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, but he'll maybe play 1 drive of that, 2 drives of that, Wendell. And they're not going to show it. I mean, you know what I mean? They're not going to show anything. They're going to run vanilla offense, would be my guess. And I don't even remember which one it is. Even if that is the one where the starters play a half or something, I can't imagine that it's anything significant. And they'll probably still sit Nick Chubb. There's no reason for Nick Chubb to play preseason football games. Absolutely not. Myles Garrett, absolutely not. Just no reason for it. Frankly, Denzel Ward, no reason for it. Third and 4. Now back to pass. Quick throw to the right side. I think he got hit. I think he got roughed after it. And they are. They're going to rough him. DeForest Buckner, the veteran. Remember there were those fun rumors about DeForest Buckner getting traded to the Browns? I mean, I'm excited to see Tomlinson, but he would have been absolutely nasty next to Myles Garrett. But there's only a finite amount of resources. Draft picks, cap space, extension dollars. How about Shaq Leonard blitzing? He's completely unfazed by the play action, and now a 3rd and 4. Left side, Kamara got the first down, just barely stood up right at the line. Kenny Moore again, who had the pick earlier in the game, but I believe Kamara gets the first down, even though Kenny Moore did a nice job to tackle him in open space. Casey has no fear. I love it. Daniel, are you in a PPR league? Will the running back get a half point or a full point for catching the football? Is that a significant thing? Or is it traditional yards and touchdowns? Here's Kamara up the middle, and this time he'll be swallowed. Excuse me, that's Jamal Williams, and he'll be swallowed. Yeah, I'm not sure, Wendell. I don't think Kansas City fears us. As long as you got 15 back there, man, you're never out of it until the game is over. Carr, dump it left side to Kamara. And Zaire Franklin over there to knock him to the ground, along with the safety Julian Blackman. It's a free Yahoo league. That's all I know. I don't think the Yahoo leagues are PPR. So you're going to want to think about like Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, maybe like a David Montgomery in Detroit. Who are the other like worse for Eckler, because he scores a bunch of touchdowns. You're going to want to think about teams that run their running backs and are going to get them a lot of touchdowns. No, they'll get the receiving yards, but I don't think they get points for catching the football. Richardson in trouble. He'll take off. First down. He'll slide right at the marker. They'll say he's a yard short. I see. It could be a PPR. If it's PPR, then you're more into. Then you're thinking more like Alvin Kamara, Eckler, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the usual suspects are going to be there. If it's a PPR for sure, I'm sure Bijan's going to go crazy high in your league. Especially if it's like a dynasty league where you'll keep guys. People are going to be overdrafting Bijan all year, I think. Quick throw out of the backfield. That's Zach Moss, the former Buffalo Bill. 7.5 to go here. Option keeper for Richardson just shoves Cam Jordan to the ground. Marcus May is there to swallow him up. He'll actually lose a yard. But man, Cam Jordan just got mossed, thrown to the ground. I realized mossing is something differently, but the first thing that came to my mind. Here comes Moss again, speaking of Moss, and he'll run to the right side for a first down. So a little change of pace to go to Zach Moss from Jonathan Taylor, a little less battering ram. Richardson, short throw to the left side. Both the running backs in this game, like I said, Jonathan Taylor will be up there. If you want somebody, I'm just looking at the teams that go across in the bottom. Tony Pollard, I think, will have some pop this year. Option keeper again, Richardson. To the 45, to the 30. He's got the first down, and he'll be dragged to the ground at the 27. So he's been effective with his legs here so far. It is Wendell. Anthony Richardson, the rookie out of Florida. The kid that has all kinds of crazy athletic tools, but has only played basically 1 year of quarterback that mattered in college. So he's the least polished of the three in terms of the first round, Stroud and Young and Richardson. And I think, as they say, he's attempted like 330 passes in Division I college football, which is a very small sample size in comparison to, let's say, somebody like Stroud or Young, who had over, 1,000 passes, kind of a thing. Yeah, Pacheco, if it's PPR, for sure. Pressure from the backside, and this time they'll get home. That's a big third down sack. Cam Jordan involved again. Brian Brissy was in there as well. Yeah, he does. Drafting Kansas City receivers is a very fickle fantasy game for sure, because any given week, Tony's going to have 3 touchdowns, and then Noah Gray will have a bunch of touchdowns, and then MVS. We'll see how Rashee Rice plays into the offense, and all of those kinds of things. So yeah, if you can get Kelsey or Mahomes, obviously you're in a good spot. First points of the game, finally, off of the right foot of the Colts kicker, 17-3. Again, it has been all Saints here, but again, both are touchdowns, a pick six, and then a special teams kick return fumble that basically gave them the first down inside the red zone. And a couple plays later, they threw a deep one to this man. Olave breaks a tackle. He's going to go 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! CO2! And a big strike. He had the first touchdown as well, right when I'm calling out the Saints offense for being lackluster. Olave with a huge one. He comes back to the ball, breaks the tackle, and is gone. That's a house call for Chris Olave with over 48 yards after that contact. See ya, Chris Olave. Wow, what a play. $75 yards, one play, 12-second drive. That's the kind of quick change that I don't think your defense is upset about having to go back out on the field about, because they're jacked. Here's the rookie Downs, and he'll go down pretty quickly at the 14. All right, Richardson now the hole, unfortunately, a little deeper. Yes, that is Gardner Minshew, the Minstash. Also in the QB room. We'll be interested to see how quickly Anthony Richardson starts for the Colts. Here comes Zach Moss, and he's been the better of the two running backs over Taylor so far today. Yeah, I don't know if if Watson runs for 1,000 yards, then probably something's wrong with the passing game if he's having to run that much. Chubb at 2,000 could be cool. Wendell the kid is, I think Richardson's like 6'4", 250. I mean, he is a specimen. He's not quite as tall and beefy as Cam Newton, but he's like in the same vein. I think he's like 6'4", let's say like 6'4", 230 or something like that would be my guess. I mean, he definitely could run for 1,000 yards if he wanted to, but again, I would feel that the only reason he has to do that is because we're having to do a bunch of design QB runs and stuff because the passing game is broken, which it should very much not be broken. Right side, dangerous throw. Actually sort of an unintentional pick from the receiver. Richardson now really struggling, 6 of 17, and that is just not going to get it done. Richardson now, he'll dump it short right at the line, and he's got Moss to the 36-yard line for a first down, and that's the 2-minute warning. 24-3 here from the Caesars Superdome. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports joining you here again. This is the finality of our 2023 Week 13 Sims. The Browns are on bye this week. They decided to go on a team retreat to boost their morale. We'll see if that affects them. They get to go to Seattle in Week 14. That is going to be a tough game. We know that's such a tough place to play. And they need a big, big game. We'll run coach mode again, unless it bites us in the butt, and then we might probably go away from it again. 111, they're trying to hurry. Play action out of the pistol. Richardson deep right side. Got a man. Oh, he had Downs. Downs had a step, and Richardson just couldn't drop it in the bucket. They'll have to punt. It was a nice route, and he had him. The Josh Downs, again, the speedy receiver. Expect to see him a lot in the slot. He's about 5'9", shifty, and very quick. Ace formation here with 61 seconds to go. And Derek Carr will throw it short to the right side and incomplete. He's only 9 of 17. Again, 161, but 75 of those 161 were on one play. So he hasn't been particularly great either. Here's a quick throw in over the head of Mike Thomas. But again, his defense and his special teams has absolutely bailed him out so far in this one. Now, Kamara, and they'll just hand it off, and now the Colts will call timeout. Again, we do appreciate everybody being on. Thank you so much to our subscribers. We continue to gain more. Over 1,000, I think 1,066 or something right now, which is just incredible. Thank you so much. Also, just remember to hit that like button. It helps to continue to grow the audience with other Saints and Colts fans, as well as just football fans in general. Only place on YouTube where you can find live original commentary to all your favorite sports, most notably football, which is unfortunate because football in this game is the worst of the current sports games on the market in terms of realisticness, as Anthony Richardson eats another screen pass sack. That play, for instance, not realistic. You get blitzed up the middle, you just throw it at the feet of the running back. Instead, we'll take a 12-yard loss. But some of our soccer sims. In fact, I was thinking about that. I don't know if there would be any interest in some Women's World Cup. I don't know the roster quite as well, but I think that they are in the game, so I might pop FIFA in and see if maybe a little Women's World Cup action could be interesting. 3rd and 16 now. They'll just go ahead and run it. Option keeper, and waiting for them is Marcus Lattimore. Now the Saints will call timeout. So incomplete, run, timeout. Incomplete, run, timeout. This last 45 seconds has taken an hour. Yeah, it's either tomorrow or Wednesday is their next one. They're crazy good, unlike the men where you're just like hoping you can make it to the single elimination tournament. The women they're incredible. Just dominate people. By far the world's superpower at the sport. Derek Carr. Dump it right side to Kamara. And he'll get 3. And thankfully, both teams will just keep some timeouts on the shelf and let this thing get to halftime. 24-3. Both teams at 6 and 5. This result would actually help the Browns to drop the Colts to 6 and 6, because that's currently what the Browns are sitting. And so, yeah, anybody that's not winning their division, you want them to have as low a record as possible. Here's the rookie Josh Downs. Thought maybe he was going to get the corner. He cannot get the corner. And now Richardson back out onto the field with his mates. He really needs to get going. He has struggled mightily. Now here's Zach Moss again. He's run pretty well. Yes, they are absolutely the favorite to win. I mean, I think like their odds on like FanDuel to win their first match were like minus 20,000 or something like that. Like you had to give $20,000 to win $100. Like that was how much of a guarantee win that it was going to be. Richardson, they'll stretch it left side. Did Jonathan Taylor get hurt? We've seen a lot of Zach Moss in this one. Wonder if he got hurt, or if we've just got him. We haven't had the old stamina sub in a while. Maybe he's been the stamina sub glitch, and now he'll run right into a Cameron Jordan sack. Speaking of unrealistic quarterback things. Anthony Schwartz got it. Do I think he will be cut? I do not foresee a way that he makes the roster, short of 2 other injuries in that room, 3 under injuries in that room. But yeah, I think they're going to try everything to get him on the practice squad, absolutely. But I cannot foresee him making the 53. And just remember, this year they changed the rule, so there's no like first cut day, second cut day. It's 1 day, just 1 day. Every roster will go from 90 to 53, which is just going to be an absolutely bonkers day in the league. I can't even imagine the front office staffs sitting there having to manage that. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dudes becoming available. So I'm sure that they're hoping that will allow them, unless some other teams got him earmarked or something, that should allow them to get him onto the practice squad. But no, unless this thing with Goodwin's like this blood clot thing with Goodwin has to linger, and he maybe is like a pup list guy to start the season. Maybe, let's say like a David Bell or a Cedric Tillman gets nicked and has to, start the season on the pup list or something. But then you still got Jakeem Grant. I mean, you got 6 basically locks, and then Jakeem Grant to think about as your 7th wide receiver if you need to keep him as a returner. And none of those players are Anthony Schwartz. So I would say, if I were a betting man, I would bet that he'd I won't say absolutely. I would be very, very, very surprised if he makes the initial 53. Again, short of a minimum of 2 injuries in that room that require like 6 weeks on the pup list to start. I think that's the first IR, right? You have to miss 6 weeks if you start the season on IR, I think is what it is. So if that's the case, then I think he's definitely practice squad if somebody else doesn't poach him. Here's Traquain Smith, and he'll try to go over the top. Absolutely, Kit. Having him on is the practice squad is huge. I think they want to continue to try to develop him as much as they can. Like, they're going to give him every opportunity to develop, which is cool. But yeah, having guys who can just absolutely burn, that's always a good thing to have on your practice squad. Always a good thing to have, if you're playing, hey, we're going to play Tyreek Hill this week. Here, sprint down the field and try to chase Anthony Schwartz so you can see what it's going to feel like, that kind of stuff. All right, back to what we do here, which is calling the game. 7:44 on this third quarter clock again. Oof, that one was almost picked. The Colts have just really struggled. The Saints have been very good, specifically their defense and their special teams here have been extremely good, which is nice. This is the Thursday night game here in Week 13. So we had the Thursday night game and the Monday night game. That's interesting. And this one is up, and it's good from Will Lutz. Extending the lead. Who dat? I believe Who Dat Nation was first. 504 if you're still on. Who Dat Nation was before Who Day Nation, am I correct? All right, Richardson down by 24. He's looked sus the majority of the game. A couple of decent plays at this feet and a couple of nice throws, but that's it. Here's one to the right side to Jelani Woods, and Woods has the first down. To the right side. Yeah, I think we play the NFC South this year, don't we? Or was that last year? I guess that was last year. Oh, coming back to the football's downs, but they could be like a crossover game, like the worst in their division. Whoops, I hit the circle button. Sorry, everybody. Trying to skip the highlight, so this view will go away for a moment after this tackle, and I apologize. That's on me. That's on me. Brian Brissy on the tackle. A lot of tight ends into the game. And it's been Zach Moss for maybe the second quarter on. So I wonder if Jonathan Taylor got nicked. Injuries are on. They're just turned pretty low. We haven't seen a lot of guys getting hurt, which is kind of how he won it. Floated left side. It's the same throw he had to Downs earlier. And that one's incomplete and broken up. He seems to like that flag route. Hey, Don, welcome in. Sketchy history with speedy receivers. Yeah, I wonder if that could be just purely coincidental, I guess. But yes, you are not wrong. You are not wrong, my friend. And we appreciate you joining us. Here comes Kamara up the middle. He'll throw one man to the ground and then not go much further. Richardson tried to go to Brashad Perryman. Good old Brashad Perryman. Yes, that Brashad Perryman. He is an Indianapolis Colt. Speaking of speedy receivers who had a cup of coffee with the Browns. Traquaine Smith across the middle, this time for 5. Just 14 and 25 for a $194 for Derek Carr. And again, remember that 75 of that $194 were on one singular completion to Chris Olave. He broke a tackle and did about 48 of the yards of his own on the ground. Here's Mike Thomas to the right side. A big punch from the defender. Doesn't knock the ball out. And a first down to the 44-yard line for can't guard Mike and company. Hey, Kevin, welcome in. Go Browns. They're going to go backwards on the sack there. Was that Quiddy Pay on that one? I looked up late. .238 to go, third quarter. Again, been all Saints. They had a little 2 possessions in a row in the first quarter where Derek Carr throws an interception. One play later, Anthony Richardson throws an interception, but Paulson Adebo actually takes it back for a pick 6. Then on the ensuing kickoff, Josh Downs, the rookie kick returner, fumbles. It's picked up by the Saints, and a couple plays later, they throw a beautiful pass from Derek Carr to Chris Olave in the back of the end zone, which was actually originally called incomplete, and then after review was, that's right, the NFC West. That's right, because we get the Seahawks and the Cardinals and the Niners. And ran it. First and 10. Moss again. He's definitely been the running back pretty much in the game the whole time since about that second quarter. So I wonder if Jonathan Taylor got tweaked or that weird stamina glitch has got Jonathan Taylor. And now Brian Brissy, the rookie, right down Broadway. About 3 sacks today for the rookie. 504, that's got to make your Saint fans happy to get somebody there inside there next to Cam Jordan, who could be a game wrecker like Brian Brissy. Hey, Fellegren, welcome in. Uh-oh, the rookie having a rough day. Marshawn Lattimore, his second pick of the afternoon, and with 14 seconds left in the third quarter, Richardson, just an out route that Marshawn Lattimore saw way before the receiver saw. And that's going to be probably game, set, and match there at 27-3. You give them the ball basically in the red zone. Going to the fourth quarter. The Saints running away with this one here at home. here at Nagy on Sports. Again, Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy joining you. Kit joining in chat form today. As he's taken a couple of weeks to visit some family and hang out in the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful Seattle. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law were just up there, Kit. They just flew home the red eye this morning they were up there for a wedding yesterday or Saturday. But went up a few days early to see the sights. Some whale watching and eating of delicious fresh oysters, etc., etc. Went to Le Pichet for the chicken, of course, which is one of your dad's favorite recommendations that I still give people. Yeah, Fellegren, you gotta watch out for those new phones, man. All of a sudden you take for granted all the things you were logged into. Can't guard Mike for a touchdown. And Derek Carr got absolutely drilled right when he threw the football, but it was right when he, look at that, right when he broke open. And fortunately for him, safety Daniel Scott was going with the tight end. And Mike Thomas into the end zone, and that's definitely going to slam the coffin shut on this one now. 34-3. It has been a beatdown here in Nolens. Yes, Mrs. Nagy on Sports picked them up from their red eye this morning at like 5:30 or whatever. They got back into Columbus, and I said, how did they like it? And she said, they want to move there. I was like, everybody who visits there wants to move there. And then you look to try to see how expensive it is to actually move there. But you always have that like, oh my gosh, we could live here and we'd be really happy, I think. This is just so great. That would be pretty fun. At least for 504, it would be pretty fun to have a Saints-Browns Super Bowl. Again, everybody in the NFC's path is easier. Let's start by saying that. It's way easier to make the Super Bowl from the NFC this year, maybe than any other. Maybe in the history of the NFL, the power is so AFC heavy. You know, as we've talked about it before, there are legitimately 10 AFC teams who think that they can win the Super Bowl. Not just get to the playoffs, but win the Super Bowl. And have constructed their rosters as such. 10 teams. Only 7 will make the playoffs, but that's 10 teams. You can make an argument that Philadelphia, San Francisco, and if you're a Dak Prescott fan, maybe Dallas. Like, that's it. Those are the only 3 teams that have a shot, in my opinion. So, a team like the Saints could go, 9-8 or 10-7, and then get hot at the right time and make a run in the playoffs. We've seen today their defense is pretty good. Their offense, obviously, again, I think, I trust Deshaun Watson having a better year than I trust Derek Carr having a great year. I've never been a huge Derek Carr fan personally, as Kamara runs to the right side, fortunately in chew clock mode. And yes, Fair Hooker is an incredible name for a receiver. So, anyway, all that being said, is if you were making bets, I think you would actually I think your bet would be better spent on the Saints making the Super Bowl than the Browns making the Super Bowl, unfortunately, just because of how tough it is. And again, you're talking to a guy who has a couple of shekels on the Browns to win the Super Bowl at plus 2,000 or whatever it is. But, that's just kind of a long shot, fun bet. A lot of things would have to go their way. Let's just put it that way. Here's Juwan Johnson again, the tight end. So I think Derek Carr's really kind of settled down here in the second half. He's taken over. Didn't start out great, but again, his defense and his special teams really put him in a great chance to succeed. And that's why we are at 34-3 here, and that's why the commentary has been sort of lackluster, which is why I'm happy to talk about AFC and NFC and Super Bowl and Browns training camp. And again, every time I open up the old Twitter timeline and refresh, just don't want to see all of the people tweeting about that X player with X non-contact injury happening, which it already looked like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, first day of Lions camp. They said he went down with a non-contact injury, which are usually the worst and longest ones, unfortunately. And they paid a bunch of money for him to come over as Tyquan Lewis. Speaking of Buckeyes, sacking him, just the second sack of the day. How about 9 sacks for the New Orleans Saints defense here in this one? But you just don't want to see anything. You don't want to see any injuries to anybody. But yeah, these first couple days of camp is always when you're like refreshing very cautiously, like, please don't let any Browns get hurt, please. Okay, we do appreciate everybody being on. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports here. Our Week 13 game of the week has been anything but, unfortunately. Again, the Saints really blew it open in the first quarter with a pick six and then a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. Gave them a touchdown mere plays later, and that blew it open to 17-0, and they haven't looked back here in this one. Anthony Richardson, the rookie, just has struggled a lot of the day. There's another incomplete pass. He's 14 of 33 now for $154 and 3 picks. So he's running a couple times as well. Again, I'm not so sure that they won't even start the season with Gardner Minshew. We just started with Richardson from the beginning of the season because it's more fun, and frankly, people tune in to see our Sims because these are what the real rosters look like during the off seasons. So that's why Will Levis has gone the whole way in Tennessee. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud have gone the whole way in their respective teams as well. So whether or not Richardson actually starts from day one, yeah, there's going to be another sack for Nathan Shepard. He's got 3.5 of them, and Richardson just could not escape. 11 sacks today for the Saints defense. Yeah, you're right, kid. Exactly. That was like the day, what was that, like the third or fourth day of training camp, right? It was really, really early. Which is when it seems like while their bodies are like getting back into quote-unquote football shape, which is just different than being in shape. You know, you're cutting certain ways and you're juking certain ways, and you're, you know, even if you're not hitting, you're hitting. You know, it usually seems to happen that way, and then their bodies are sort of like tuned back into, limbered back up kind of a thing, whatever you want to say. Derek Carr back out onto the field with 5:37. Is it too early to just start kneeling at every play? Yes, with Chubb and Myles Garrett, and even Joel Bitonio, the Madden respect is real. I don't know if they've done the cornerbacks yet. Where's Denzel pop in? Is he top 10? I haven't seen those ones yet. I mean, we saw the overalls. They released the overalls. The Browns have the 7th best team in the game, which to me feels about right. Even with the malfeasance that is their 78 rating for Deshaun Watson, they still are the 6th or 7th. I'm going to go back and look at the post because I've already forgotten what I said. They are tied with the Ravens for 6. Now, so you got the Chiefs at 92. This is overall Madden ratings. 92 for the Chiefs, 91 for the Eagles, 90 for the Bills, 89 for the Bengals, 88 for the Cowboys, 87 for the Browns and the Ravens, 86 for the Dolphins and Niners, and the Chargers at 85. So even that, 7/10 of that list are AFC teams. So Madden understands the power of the AFC now. So we're going to get a roughing the passer. Yeah, well, that's why we do coach mode. to get rid of that silliness, albeit at the silliness of other things. And another touchdown again. Traquaine Smith over the middle, and now just pouring it on. Dennis Allen. He's like, I'm going to throw for it, baby. Let's go. Run this bad boy up. We're going to win this thing by 41 points. He's got to get his style points for his BCS rankings like it's 2008. Who dat? Who dat? Who dat? Josh Downs again, the rookie. And he'll get to the 20 exactly. 2:59 on the clock. Mercifully end it for us, please, Madden. This one has been a beat down early in favor of the home team. Richardson rolling to the right side and overthrows his receiver. He's really struggled today. There's no two ways about it. He has struggled with his performance today. There's a nice throw over the middle to Woods. And he's missed some open receivers. And again, 11 sacks. It's just too many to take. Even for a rookie, you got to know when to throw it away, when to get out of there. That one's tipped away by Pete Werner. Go Bucks. 2nd and 10. Rolling, now firing back across the middle. That's prime interception. I think two Saints ran into each other, both trying to pick that ball off. 2:12 to go. Float it left side into triple coverage, and it's knocked away by the Honey Badger. I haven't really called his name much today. Tyrann Mathieu almost forgot that he was back there. Almost forgot that he's even on the team, which he absolutely is on the team. This punt's going to drop inside the 10, at the 10 rather. A good punt there. And again, can we just start kneeling, please? Kamara gets us to the 2-minute warning. He's going to end up with a pretty nice day too, as he's about a half of football to basically just chew this thing away. He's in the zone as well. Not sure what his zone factor is, but probably something pretty good as he's got a first down. He's 31 carries now, 129 yards for AK-41. $1:15 and counting. More Kamara up the middle. This time Grover Stewart is there. 40 seconds. One more snap here. Kamara to the right side, picks up another 6, and that's where they do not have to run another play. And I'm really hoping that they don't. And they will not. All right, well, guys, I really appreciate you being on. Sorry it was not quite as fun and entertaining. I guess if you're a Saints fan, like 504, it was fun and entertaining. But this one, absolutely a smackdown at the Superdome. 44-3 is the final score in this one. Again, sparked early in that first quarter, and it just went from there. So again, really struggling today for the rookie. 6'4", 236, by the way, is his measurables, since we were talking about that earlier. 16 for 39, 184. It's 41% completion and 3 interceptions. That ain't going to get it done. Zach Moss, 11 for 56. Richardson, 6 for 27. Jonathan Taylor, 4 carries for 10 yards, and then he just kind of disappeared. Again, maybe got nicked up, maybe got stamina glitched out of the game. Zach Moss, Josh Downs, the rookie, 4 for 62. He was definitely the most electric receiver. Then just a single catch for Pharaoh Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Ashton Doolin, Pittman Jr., Mo Ali Cox, and the drop from Rashad Perriman. So just a rough day all over. How about 3 for the Braden Smith, right tackle? I think he might be the best right tackle in the game, other than Tristan Wirfs, like an 87 rating, and he got whipped today. Ekiyor, the rookie, gives up 2. Blake Freeland, the rookie, gives up 2. Every single offensive lineman gave up sacks. All right, 15 tackles for Zaire Franklin. Shaq Leonard with 12. Again, that used to be Darius Leonard. He changed his name a couple of seasons ago. Kenny Moore with 11. Just 2 sacks today, and they were both by Tyquan Lewis. Go Bucks. The one pick was by Kenny Moore that we saw. 22 of 36 for 264 for Derek Carr. That's 61% completion. 3 tutties and the 1 interception that we talked about earlier. Kamara, 33 attempts, 136 yards, 8 broken tackles, 61 yards after those broken tackles. Jamal Williams again. Remember, he is a Saint this year, 6 for 20 for him. Alvin Kamara leads the team with 6 catches as well, 37 yards, 5 for Mike Thomas, 69 yards and a touchdown, 4 for Juwan Johnson, the tight end, 4 for a $110 in the touchdown, 4 Chris Olave, 3 for 26 in the last touchdown for Jaquan Smith as well. Defensively speaking, Demario Davis, former Brown, no surprise there with 15 tackles. Marcus May, the safety, Lattimore, and then there's the Honey Badger with 7 tackles of his own. How about 4.5 sacks for Nathan Shepard today? 3 for Brian Bresee, so 7.5 sacks came from your 2 defensive tackles. That's nuts. 2.5 from Cam Jordan, 2 from Peyton Turner, and then Kalen Saunders. 8 of your sacks came. 8 of your sacks came from your defensive tackles. That's nuts. 2 picks for Marshawn Lattimore, 1 for Paulson Adebo, and that was the one that went the distance. So if you want to stay on with us, we will forward through. I have to actually go back to controlling Kevin Stefanski here, since he is the commissioner of the league, not controlling Shane Stecken any longer. But we will go ahead and fast forward this week, see what the results were. Again, the Browns absolutely stuck in the middle and on bye this week. So we will go ahead and advance. We are going to the Seattle Seahawks week 14. It's going to be a tough one. We know that's a tough place to play. Geno Smith with his electric trio of receivers. So let's take a look at the standings after the bye week for the Browns. In the AFC North, they are deadlocked with the Ravens, both at 6-6. Bengals at 5-7. Steelers struggling now at 4-8. But look at the streaks there. Lost a game in a row for the Browns, 3 in a row for the Ravens, 4 in a row for the Bengals, 3 in a row for the Steelers. So some trouble brewing right now for the AFC North. The Titans continuing to be great. They're 9-4. Colts we just saw drop to 6-6. Still no love for the Jags at 5-7. AFC East right now still, look at that. All 3 teams that we talked about have a better record than the Browns and everybody in the AFC North right now, which is why winning the division is going to be absolutely paramount. Chiefs finally back atop. They've won 5 in a row. You can see there they've won 5 in a row. 2 in a row lost for the Chargers has given the Chiefs that lead. NFC North, still the Packers and the Bears all tied up at 6-6. 8-4 for the Falcons, 7-5, 7-5 for the Saints and these Panthers. So interesting, tight matchup there. How about the Commanders hanging with and actually having a better record than the Cowboys right now? No surprise. Winners of 4 in a row are the Philadelphia Eagles. And we've seen them before. The 49ers are very good. 6 in a row. They're now 10-2. The Seahawks at 7-5 as well. 6-6 are those Arizona Cardinals. That makes the NFL power rankings look like this. 49ers, Titans, as of course we always thought they would be second. Eagles, Commies, Falcons, Jets, and then you get to a bunch of 7-5 teams with the Panthers, Dolphins, Saints, Seahawks, Cowboys, Bills, Chiefs, and then the Browns checking in there at number 15. All right, gang. So again, check out the Discord channel. That's the only place you can find out in advance when we're going to sim, which will likely be tomorrow. Here's a look at the rest of those Week 14 games. We'll get that poll up for you so that you can vote on the other games you would like to see in Week 14. But otherwise, we really appreciate you hanging out with us here this afternoon. For Kit out on the left coast in the northerly part of it this time, hanging out in Seattle for a little bit. Phil here in Central Ohio. We are Nagy on Sports, guys. We really appreciate you being on. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Looking forward to seeing you. Hey, John, welcome on, and see you. Goodbye. But it looks like tomorrow, Mason, is what we'll try for that Browns sim. And we'll see if we can go out to Seattle and get the dub. So really appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Today we will say go Saints in a big way, Who Dat Nation. And as always, go Browns.